out of control. Oh, it's still there. Okay, it's 8:30. We're back from executive session where we talk about real estate, personnel, litigation, and contracts. Okay, we have a couple recommendations out of executive session. Motion to approve the stipulation of settlement agreement of elected tax collection as presented. So, second. A motion and a second. Any questions from the public on the motion?
What exactly is that agreement?
We'll get to it. Is that?
Still litigation.
Yes. Yeah. We have a motion, a second? Any questions from the board on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, you asked for a public.
Okay, we have, a solicitor here.
The board in beginning of 2017 set tax collector rates prior to the deadline of February 14th. Several of the tax collectors brought suit claiming that the rate that was set was so low that it would deprive them of the ability to properly perform their job. Based upon a Pennsylvania Supreme Court case in two separate districts, it would appear that that claim would have merit. The claim, the taxpayers in a district in Fayette County brought a similar lawsuit, and the court in Fayette County sided with the tax collectors and set the rate back to its original amount. The stipulation that is being approved would reduce the tax collectors' rate, and this is agreed to by the tax collectors, by 15% based upon their collections for the 17-18 year. Therefore, the collections going forward, for the tax collectors going forward, would be paid a flat amount and not on a per parcel basis. So no matter what the rate may be, your tax rate that is, or how many parcels may be, the rate for the next 4 years would remain the same. That will result in a minimum of 90? Over the life, $90,000 plus or minus over the life of the over the life of the 4-year life of the tax collector's terms. It's recommended by our office that we accept it, and that's what the board has approved by its action.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, number 2, assistant principal. Need a motion to authorize administration to post and advertise for an assistant.
moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the motion?
I have a question. This is about all the hires that are on the agenda tonight. I personally am a little upset. Maybe it's for no reason. I sat here and voted to lay people off to balance the budget. Okay? We, as a board, voted to hire back a secretary last month, and we're going to hire a bunch of people here. Did the money truck stop here and not?
3 of these are to replace resignations,
Okay.
but only additional is an assistant.
So it's not going to blow a hole in the budget?
Or replacing resignations.
Secretary General.
Any other questions on the motion?
Can I ask a question? Was the assistant principal for the high school? I missed the beginning.
to be determined.
You're gonna advertise for it, or you have some?
We're going to post and advertise.
Okay.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'm opposed.
We have another motion.
I have a motion, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion as per the terms of the superintendent's contract that the board intends to appoint the superintendent to a new 4.5-year contract at the beginning of her final year of her current contract.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? Any questions from the public on the motion?
Is this in fact a rehiring vote?
Yeah, we're extending our contract. Any other questions on the motion?
I have a question. We're extending the current contract, same rate of pay, all that, how's that work?
This is a new contract, and we will be bringing a contract with those numbers in there for you to approve come January.
So what do we vote?
You're voting that she will be reappointed because their current contract requires that she be notified 1 year in advance, more than one, at least 1 year in advance. The school codes will not allow her to be reappointed until she is in the last year. So what this is doing is, at a minimum, it is extending her for the 4.5 years. If the board sees fit to not raise her, that would be up to the board. If we did nothing prior to December 31st, Dr. Collette would be reappointed for a 5-year term at her current salary.
So we don't know what the salary is, right? We're not determining that right now.
We're not determining it
Okay.
right now.
No, this is the
It
intent.
would be, at the minimum would be at her current salary.
Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Personnel. The motion to approve the listed individuals for placement on the substitute custodian. Motion second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next one, we need a roll call, please. Your motion to hire Miss Elizabeth Leisure as assistant cheerleading sponsor for 2000.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Finch?
Yes.
Mr. Groot?
Yes.
Mr. Haynes?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Leisure?
Abstain.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Shingle?
Yep.
Mr. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mr. Shavana?
Yes.
And assuming that's based on a conflict, you would sign the form.
I got it.
Okay, number 3, your motion to approve Miss Alicia Kimmel as an emergency day-to-day substitute teacher.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 4, need a motion to approve the drivers as presented for the 2017 school year.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This one is approve the following assistant coaches at the appropriate compensation based on the MEA agreement involving.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I had a parent call me and ask me, does the assistant basketball coach get paid?
66%, 34%, yes. So they do.
No.
Brett,
The Brett,
Brett would be paid, I believe that's a Class A stipend per contract, but the assistant coach would get Class B stipend for the MEA contract. Yeah, he did pay.
Just nothing listed.
well, there's nothing there, and I didn't know how to answer. Apparently the boosters sent out something saying they wanted to collect $500 to give this guy. That was what the parent told me.
That's up to the principals.
Well, but I didn't understand why, if, I didn't, say again?
I'm not aware of that.
I'm just going by what they told me.
So, the way this reads, Brent's at 100%, and then you have Nate Perry at 66 and 34, and then volunteer.
What this is saying is that Nate and Justin are sharing one position.
One
They're
position.
splitting a salary
that's
so that
why
they can
it's a
have two
percentage.
coaches.
The other ones that don't have a percentage.
Or 100%.
So unless it says volunteer.
Yeah.
Volunteers are not.
Okay.
Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We need a roll call on this next one. The motion approved, Ms. Caitlin Group as an assistant
So
coach
moved.
basketball.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Harden.
Yes.
Mr. Leisure.
Yes.
Mr. Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Shingle.
Yep.
Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Schindler.
Yes.
Mr. Finch.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
I abstain. It's my
There was
daughter.
a conflict we would sign before.
Okay, number 7, I need a motion to approve Amy Claude to attend the
So moved.
Pennsylvania Civic. Motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yep.
One no. Motion passes.
When you say yep, that's fine.
He said opposed, I said, yeah.
Okay, number 8. Need a motion to approve golf coach Jeffrey Deems along with volunteer Dave Gaines to attend the Chaperone 2 student.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Volunteer. He's a volunteer.
Oh, good.
Anybody can volunteer.
I'll abstain for the vote if you'd like.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Leisure. Mr. Leisure.
Yes.
Mr. Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Shingle.
Well, time.
Wait, I'm confused. What are we doing?
Number 8.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to playoff.
He's a freak.
He's volunteer.
I'm sorry.
Very good. Okay. Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Schindler.
Yes.
Mr. Finch.
Yes.
Mr. Root.
Yes.
Mr. Haynes.
I abstain.
Mr. Harden.
Yes.
And Mr. Haynes, I'm going to suggest you fill the conflict of interest form out also, in an abundance of caution.
Thanks for your volunteering.
Okay, number 9. Need a motion to adopt resolution 2017-18, number 1, electing Ms. Johanna Vanetta.
So moved.
District
Second.
President. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion?
Stop for Jim.
Yes. Okay, any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Next.
Congratulations. Sorry?
I voted no.
Okay. Renetta? Yes, she is. Congratulations.
All right.
Welcome aboard.
We will bring the full contract in November meeting.
Whole thing.
Hi, thank you. Hi, very good, thank you. Susanna?
This is here.
Okay, number 10. Motion to hire Mr. Eric Whistler as technology education teacher.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Come on up. Okay. Mr. Whistler has a major in technology education from California University, Bachelor of Arts from Waynesburg University. technology education, CTE teacher, Pittsburgh Public Schools. He's been in several schools. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. I'm very excited. I don't let you down. I'm going to give you everything I got. I feel great about this. It feels like a great fit.
The microphone there, brother.
I appreciate it. Feels like a great fit. I just wanted to mention that it reminds me a lot of home. So I already feel at home, and I hope I can give you everything that you could ask for of me. So with that said, if there's anything that I'm not doing up to par, let me know.
Oh, we will.
Thank you. Thank you again very much for the effort.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Eric's from Lancaster, that's why I said areas.
Yeah.
Okay, next, need a motion to hire Ms. Rachel Vaughn as
So
Spanish teacher.
moved, second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Oh, I used this quote, she said she was born a learner and explorer. Along the way, I learned to teach. I like that.
Congratulations.
She's our true Spanish teacher. She's been taught in Peru, she taught in Chile.
Hey, Ken, give it up. I think she got you.
Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I'm really excited. This is my first full-time teaching job, so I'm very excited. I gotta have a whole grade.
Congratulations.
Check it out, Sam. Thank you.
Okay, number 12, need a motion to hire Ms. Heather Red, paraeducator.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nope. Aye.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Michigan. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, number 13, accept with regret the resignation of Jason Kern as head softball coach effective immediately. Second. And authorize the administration to post and advertise. We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion?
How about a comment? I know he's not here, but congratulate him. He moved on to a college. He's at Penn State Du Bois, I believe, as a head softball coach. He's not here, but congratulations.
Any other questions on the motion? Comments? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve Ms. Mara Wabi for placement on the substitute
So
teacher.
moved.
Second?
Motion second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next one, policy 1, policy 209.1, pedicula. How do you say it?
Pediculosis.
Yeah. It's proposed for first reading. Business, we must approve Trit Shell Consulting Service to provide E-rate Category 1 service at a cost of $3,500 for the funding year 2018.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The motion to approve payment to Andrews and Price
So
for
moved.
submitted invoice. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're going to do 3 and 4 together here. Need a motion to approve payment to Andrews
So
and
moved.
Price.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve PDE 3086 contract to purchase meals between Community Action
So moved.
Southwest. Let's start. Second. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion?
What is it? We're buying snacks for,
No, it enables us to provide them with snacks.
well, they're buying snacks from us. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't I just thought some kids were getting snacks, so I was buying them.
No, this is an agreement so that those kids can eat through our
Right under the
cafeteria.
Yeah.
Okay, need a motion to approve payment of application certification for payment number 75102 in the amount of $180,000 from Waller Corporation. From the capital fund budget.
I interjected a question.
Question, I don't think we
Yeah,
have.
I'm sorry.
We did.
Any other questions on that motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
We also had another motion on
I thought we did too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Already
about.
do.
There were a
I thought we weren't
motion
making
made,
a
there's a motion now.
This is
I thought we weren't making one.
This is the payment. Someone have it written down?
It's the other motion. was-
It's the one for committee.
So it's not there.
This is the
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
no cost owner request for extension.
So,
I think we read that, we don't either approve or deny.
Okay, it's under F, committee recommendations 1. Motion to approve the request from Waller Corporation to formally extend the contract time to November 10th, at no additional cost to district. I have a motion.
This was to extend it.
This is the
And
extension
this is the motion to extend it.
from earlier we held.
All I have is,
no
I don't have a
second.
second on
I do like a motion.
it. All right,
I'll second it, that way we can just vote it.
okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Yeah.
Motion fails. Where am I, guys?
You're down at number 6.
Number 6. Okay, I need a motion to approve payment of application certification to Waller Corporation in the amount of $180,000. We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion?
Yeah,
much more do we owe?
how much is left? Do we have an estimate? Or
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
be partial payment?
This is a partial payment, but I'm not sure how much is left. Mr. O'Keefe.
Do you have any idea how much more we owe Waller?
I do not. I'm not.
Wait, it might be on.
Can we find that out?
I ain't agreeing with this one.
I didn't
It's
either.
probably under
Wait,
administrative.
it's under, if you click the
Yeah.
attachment,
It's
the
the total,
balance
the
to
total
finish is
contract.
339,606.
Balance of the bill.
The 339 is minus the 180?
It takes, you take the 686 minus what was paid, minus the retainage, then got the contract, and then the balance to complete is 339. That's what's due then.
339 is, that's what I'm asking.
After this.
After this
After
payment.
this payment.
Yes.
Okay,
That's what, yeah, that was my question.
Yes.
so about 50%.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job, Mrs. Strong.
Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed.
Mr. Finch,
Yes.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Weezer,
No.
Mr. Moss,
Yes.
Mr. Shingle,
No.
Mr. Schreiber, Mr. Schindler.
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Okay. Number 7, beverage agreement. Approve a beverage agreement between the Guthrie School District and
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
5.
5 years pending review of the contract with the
So moved.
Second.
Motion to say, any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I like Coke.
You have to bring it with you, Ed.
Okay, motion passes.
Is that enough?
Yes, that's enough.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, put it down as a mess, I like Coke.
Okay.
We just want to make sure the minutes are right.
Facilities use report.
Pretty requested for facilities in September for school year in 12.
Budget expenditure report for the month of September, presented for your review. Same with cafeteria report. Solicitors report.
Mine were all executive session items, Mr. President.
Okay. Western Area Career and Technology Center.
You have the director's reports for all the past. Just an update on the roof down there, everything's going as planned or as on schedule. So I think they have about 3 more weeks to go. So the weather's been good, so they've been able to keep on.
The SBA report.
I think they're trying to still pass the budget. That's a house pass something, but
Anything different to say, or?
they're not accomplishing it.
Have they notified us what we're getting? I assume no.
We have the expenditure portion, we do have our number as far as expenditures, they just don't know they're paying it yet.
So none-
We're still getting money. I don't believe the expenditure portion, because we're under the expenditure portion.
Some of the farm show.
Because it's a revenue, they're working on their revenue.
They can take out a second mortgage.
Second mortgage margin.
Okay. This time we entertain.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. President, that this meeting be extended to November 1st at 6 o'clock at the same place, same.
Second.
But before you do that, you've got a second public participation.
Okay, so any public comment on agenda, non-agenda items?
Yes, Mr. Group, you have 3.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Archambault.
Frank Archambault, Donaldson Township. 4 years ago, I brought it to the attention of the school board that I had just found out that it was a practice in the high school that the Pledge of Allegiance was an elective, that there are morning announcements, and then the announcer would say, "We'll now say the pledge," and begin it, "I pledge allegiance to the flag," and then the announcer would drop off, and then it was left to the discretion of the students whether they would continue on with pledging allegiance to the flag out loud or otherwise. And I brought that to the attention of the board. Most of you were here at that time and heard that. And nothing ever came of that because I suppose I wasn't strong enough at that time to actually push it. I'm a little bit stronger now. I'd like to call on the veterans that are on the school board to honor their service and speak out about the lack of patriotism that apparently is not required in the McGuffey High School. I find this to be a practice that happens only in the high school level. Middle school and elementary school are both compliant with saying the Pledge of Allegiance with a teacher present also reciting the pledge. I would like to know, when did this practice happen? I have searched the school board policies. I've tried to find school policies, and I see no policy where children were relieved of the responsibility or the obligation or the privilege to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And in view of what's going on in our nation today, I think that's a pretty serious offense and an affront to our nation. I would like an answer. How long has this been going on?
I'll address that.
Please.
This has been adjudicated, litigated over and over again. The right ability to say the Pledge of Allegiance is up to the individual. The First Amendment guarantees that to the individual. If the child chooses not to stand or recite the pledge, they have the right to do that. Whether you like it, or I like it, or this board likes it, or the school district likes it, that is what the courts have ruled under the First Amendment. There is no legal way to require students to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I'm really sorry to hear you say that, Mr.
No, I'm
Solicitor.
only reporting what the courts have said, Mr. Archambault. I don't make this stuff up. I only tell you what the courts have done. and what mitigation you would face from the ACLU as well as any individual who wished to proceed for the abrogation of their First Amendment rights. It would cost this district a lot of money with no hope of winning.
Had or has anyone ever, that's okay, this is important. Has or had anybody ever protested
Your time's up, sir.
pledging allegiance to the flag?
Your time's up. Our solicitor.
Sir, we call
You just
Mrs.
got through
Shingle
telling
to
me
the
about First
podium.
Amendment rights. Where's the time clock in the First Amendment?
Sir, we call Mrs. Shingle to the podium.
Good evening, Betty Shingle, Donegal Township, and again, I'm thankful to be a part of this community and have the privilege to speak here. I represent the community. And I also want to thank Dr. Colott for her attempt to explain the IU services expenditures. And I would remark that those are the very same figures that she presented to us a couple months ago, which did not coincide with the IU's figures or with the right-to-know information I got from the district. However, I leave that to you. You are the men voted into these positions. If you can deal with that, you can live with that discrepancy, that's up to you. I was asked to research it and to present it, and I did that. And I want to remind you that I have never brought anything before this board that's been of a personal nature. Everything I have brought for consideration, either someone in the community has contacted me and asked me to present it to you to be considered. Is something going on here? You were the ones that said we were over budget and had to lay off a lot of people and hike up everyone's taxes. So naturally the public has questions, and we ask those questions. Now I would like to address, it is preposterous to think that anyone would want to do away with our special education program. I myself work with